Hey, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. College football week 11. We're going to get into the Friday night and Saturday slate of games. It's been a wild ride, especially this week's been even more interesting. I'll put it to you that way. And we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this, but there's some major movement on lines. I tried to forewarn you guys of this, especially if you've been a follower of ours. There's just been a lot of movement, especially on this SMU game. I told you guys at 16.5 on Tuesday on the Tuesday Night Football show that we were looking ahead to this game. It has kind of gone crazy, but it's going even crazier. So the lines moved to somewhere between 19.5 and 20.5. I'm comfortable at the 19.5. I tell you, I think SMU is winning by 3 touchdowns. I think 20.5, you're really cutting it razor thin. Total right now has moved down to 65. It's moving the wrong way, in my opinion. SMU, I think, can almost damn near cover this line by themselves on the total, so they're not going to need much help. I think third and fourth quarter, they're going to have a lot of the second and third teamers in, where North Texas might be able to score some points. But, feel free to bet your total as you wish. But we love SMU. There might be some value there if you look at first quarter and first half as well, so if you want to play that game. But SMU minus 6.5 first quarter, minus 9.5 first half, and minus 16.5 for the game. Like I said, I'm comfortable at the 19.5, not at 20.5. I think it's right on the total number. SMU over 13.5 total first quarter, SMU over 34.5 total first half, and over 67.5 total for the game. The 65 that you can get now is just an absolute complete bonus, so take advantage of it. Wyoming, UNLV, next game up. UNLV 3-point favorite. We're not necessarily have anything to do on this particular matchup in a 50.5 point total. We'll get into the Saturday games. Tulsa, Tulane, 23.5 point favorite at home, which they should be, 53.5 total. Tulane has struggled to cover as of late, but Tulsa is not good, so this should be probably a pretty easy one for them. But no bets on that game. Next game up, Michigan, Penn State. We are on this game. Penn State, 4.5, 5-point favorite. Search for the 5 if you can get it. Get the 5. We do love Penn State here. This is against kind of the rule. There's just been so much Michigan crap going on this week with Harbaugh. And Penn State is at home. It's at a weird time slot. And I'm going to tell you guys this, and this may sound like total horse shit, but every time Gus Johnson announces a game, which he's going to have this particular one for Saturday morning football, just take the dog. You seem to be much better off. But Penn State plus 0.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, and plus 5 for the game. One more time, Penn State plus 0.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, and plus 5 for the game. Next game up, Alabama, Kentucky. Kentucky at home, 11-point home dog, 47 total. I don't know, an 11-point game and a 47 total, how I can turn down 11 points. I think Alabama's shown a ton as of late, but they are coming off a big win against LSU. Might be a shade of a letdown spot. Might have trouble covering the 11. More than likely going to probably win this game, but I think Kentucky can keep it close, probably within a touchdown. But Kentucky plus 2.5 first quarter. Kentucky plus 6.5 first half. And Kentucky plus 11 for the game in our plays on that particular one there. Texas Tech, Kansas. Texas Tech, Lawrence, 62.5 total, 3.5 point favorite for Kansas. This line should be higher than 3.5. This is a trap game. This is why we're going to take Texas Tech. Most people are going to look at this game and go, how is Kansas only favored by 3.5? I'm just telling you, it's situational, right? So they come off, they have one amazing win against Oklahoma, right, at home. Then they go to Iowa State, tough place to play. I thought Iowa State was going to wax them, to be honest with you. And instead, they end up winning that game at Iowa State. 2 tough games in a row. This is going to be somewhat of a letdown. It is hard to keep up your defenses, so to speak, for a long stretch period of time, especially when your name's not Georgia, the way this kind of it's been working, right? So we do love Texas Tech in this particular matchup. So Texas Tech plus 0.5 first quarter, plus 2.5 first half, and plus 3.5 for the game. So one more time, Texas Tech plus 0.5 first quarter, plus 2.5 first half, and plus 3.5 for the game. We are going to take, next game up is going to be Georgia Tech, Clemson. Clemson, a 14.5 point favorite at home, 55 total. We're not on that particular matchup. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. South Carolina 14-point favorite at home, 57.5 total. We're not on that one. Maryland, Nebraska, you'd have to pay me to be on that game. Temple, South Florida, we're not on that particular matchup either. Indiana, Illinois is another one of those Big Ten matchups nobody wants to watch. Virginia Tech, Boston College, we're not on that one. Next game up, though, 11 o'clock out here in Phoenix, 1 o'clock Eastern, Old Dominion, Liberty. This line has moved multiple days in a row in multiple ways. So Liberty kind of opened 13.5-point favorite, went to 14. We hopped on board on Dominion at that point. And then now it's back down to Old Dominion plus the 13. But we do like Old Dominion plus 5.5 first quarter, plus 7.5 first half, and plus 14 for the game. Here's what you need to know. Old Dominion's rush defense, not so bad. Liberty loves to run the ball. They run it probably more than anybody else in the country. They have been a cover machine, no question about it. But we do like Old Dominion in this spot here. But like I said, Old Dominion plus 5.5 first quarter, plus 7.5 first half, and plus 14 for the game. Arizona, Colorado, next game up in Boulder, Colorado, a 10-point home dog, 54.5 total. The shine is kind of worn off prime time. I think he's going to be a fantastic recruiter and coach for a long time to come. Him thinking, like at the start of the season when they had all those wins, they took advantage of the hype for sure on that particular one, but they're running into probably the best cover machine in the country, and it's called Arizona. Arizona has upset teams. They have covered against teams. They have just played more than solid football. The book still, I don't think, has a beat on them yet, and there's still way too much Colorado money coming in, even though they're probably going to end up with the 4 wins that they stole early in the season and cost everybody their under 3.5 totals. So anyway, Arizona minus 2.5 first quarter, Arizona minus 6.5 first half, and minus 10 for the game. One more time, Arizona minus 2.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, and minus 10 for the game. Next game up, Memphis, Charlotte. We're not playing this game, but we would lean Charlotte. I've just been burnt so many times by Charlotte so far this season that I just can't stay away. 9.5, 52 total. UConn at James Madison. James Madison, 25-point home favorite, 43 total. We're going to stay away from that one. Troy, ULM. Troy, a 21.5-point favorite going to Louisiana Monroe. We're going to stay away from that game. North Carolina State, Wake Forest. At Wake Forest. Wake Forest getting to 43 total. We are on this particular matchup. We did grab it at 2.5. Like on Wednesday. I honestly think NC State is not any better than Wake Forest because NC State has a problem scoring. So when you have that issue going on, you got to take the points, and you definitely want to take the home team. So Wake Forest plus 1.5 first quarter, plus 1.5 first half, and plus 2.5 for the game. One more time, Wake Forest plus 1.5 first quarter, 1.5 first half, and plus 2.5 for the game. Let's see. Next game up is going to be Appalachian State, Georgia State. Georgia State, 2.5-point favorite at home, 62.5 total. We're not on that matchup. Nevada, Utah State. We're not on this one. If we had any play in this game, it would actually lean towards the over at 56. Sam Houston, Louisiana Tech, we're staying away from that one. Utah, Washington, though, we do like this particular game. Playing at Washington. Utah's been a little bruised, a little battered. Haven't played well against the team, some of these better teams, so to speak. Like, that defeat against Oregon, I think, really took a lot out of them. I will say this, they are physical. They still are physical. They've had a little problem maybe scoring the ball this season. Washington has struggled in these spots. They seem to perform in the big games like they did against, Oregon and they did against USC, but they've struggled in the rest of these games in the middle of this Pac-12 schedule. So we are going to take Utah plus 2.5 first quarter, plus 6.5 first half, and plus 9.5 for the game. One more time, Utah plus 2.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, and plus 9.5 for the game. Next game up, Miami, Florida, Florida State. Florida State, 14-point home favorite, 51 total. This is an in-state rivalry game, and it's hard to cover by 2 touchdowns. I don't care what your records are. Florida State's had a problem covering lately. Wide receivers have been hurt, which has hurt their scoring chances. So we do like Miami of Florida here. Give me the points in the in-state rivalry. So Miami of Florida plus 5.5 first quarter, plus 7.5 first half, and plus 14 for the game. One more time, Miami, Florida plus 5.5 first quarter, plus 7.5 first half, and plus 14 for the game. Next game up, Oklahoma State, UCF. Oklahoma State, 2.5-point favorite on the road, 65.5 total. We're not on that matchup. Same thing with the next game with Tennessee, Missouri. Missouri 3-point home dog, 59 total. We're not on that matchup. Northwestern, Wisconsin. Wisconsin 10.5 point favorite, which they should be, 42.5 total. We're not on that one. Rutgers, Iowa. Lowest point total on the board for the last 20 plus years for sure, if not 30 or 40, at 27.5. And you still feel like you have to go under. How sick is that? We're not on that game, though, either. Baylor, Kansas State, K-State, 21-point favorite, 55 total at home. We're not on that one. FIU, Middle Tennessee, same thing. Minnesota, Purdue, same thing. Not on that game. New Mexico State, Western Kentucky, not on that matchup. Texas State, Coastal Carolina, not on that one either. UAB, Navy, we're not on that matchup. Auburn, Arkansas, why would we torture ourselves? We're not on that matchup. Washington State, Cal, not on that one. You can see we're not on a lot of these games. It's hard to bet bad football. It really is. East Carolina, Florida Atlantic, not on that matchup. Arkansas State, South Alabama, same thing, even though we would lean South Alabama here for sure. Stanford, Oregon State. I really like Oregon State, but we're going to stay away from that matchup. The next one we are on, though, is Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia, 10-point favorite at home, 58 total. Lane Kiffin stepping in now, all this shit coming out about all the stuff coming out about, the lawsuit and all that kind of great stuff. And why does he do this to himself? Does anybody understand why Lane Kiffin? It always seems to come out in a big week for them as well. So I don't quite understand why they do that, but so be it. We are only going to take... I do apologize. We are only going to take first half. Normally we take first quarter, first half in game when we really like something. We are only going to take just the first half and the game because Georgia has cost me so much damn money over the last multiple years because they can't cover the first quarter because they always seem to allow the scoring on the other team in the first. So we're going to take Georgia minus 6.5 first half and minus 10 for the game. Once again, Georgia minus 6.5 first half and Georgia minus 10 for the game. So pretty simple. Only 2 bets on that particular matchup. Watch them cover the first quarter this time because that's just what Georgia does is frustrate you beyond all belief. And I'm sure they'll continue to do it for us. West Virginia, Oklahoma, we're going to pass on this one. Florida, LSU, nothing on this matchup. San Diego State, Colorado State, same thing. Cincinnati, Houston, though, we are on. How the heck is a Cincinnati a 2.5 point, not Cincinnati, Houston, 2.5 point favorite against anyone? So what we're going to do is we're going to take Cincinnati, who has been crazy, and they covered against Oklahoma, but they can't cover against some pit teams. But they do perform better as a dog, especially against the spread. So we will take Cincinnati and those points against the Houston team they scored 0 against K-State. Missouri's still scoring on them from the first couple weeks of the season. So we'll take Cincinnati plus a half first quarter, Cincinnati plus a half first half, and Cincinnati plus 2.5 for the game. One more time, Cincinnati plus a half first quarter, first half, and plus 2.5 for the game. Next game up, Georgia Southern, Marshall will pass. Texas, TCU 12.5 point favorite, dog at home. We'll pass on that one. Michigan State, Ohio State, though, we are going to play. 31-point favorite, Ohio State. Total of 47. If you've watched Ohio State so far this season, they have struggled to score in any game 31 points. I know Michigan State is not good. Trust me. But I've only seen Ohio State score 31, I believe, in 2 games so far this season. So we are going to take Michigan State plus 7.5 first quarter, plus 19.5 first half, and plus 31.5 for the game. One more time, Michigan State plus 7.5 first quarter, plus 19.5 first half, and plus 31.5 for the game. I still can't believe that line's at 31. 24 I saw, but not 31 on there. So therefore, like I said, we'll hang out with Michigan State and pray and all that kind of stuff. Texas A&M 17.5 point favorite at home against Mississippi State will pass. Rice, UTSA almost a 2-touchdown favorite at home. We're going to pass on that one. Duke, North Carolina, same thing. We're going to pass. Arizona State, UCLA, we're going to pass. New Mexico, and Boise State will pass on that one. Iowa State, BYU, same thing. USC, Oregon. We are going to play this particular matchup, and we are going to play the under in this game because it's ridiculous to think that. I don't question that Oregon can put up 40, but that Oregon defense is pretty strong, so I don't see USC just rolling down the field on it. So we're going to take USC and Oregon under 16.5 total first quarter, under 38.5 total first half, and under 76.5 total for the game. One more time, USC under 16.5 total first quarter, 38 total first half, and under 76.5 total for the game. Last game up. Second to the last game of the day, Fresno State, San Jose State. When this game opened, Fresno State was a favorite. Now this line has went all the way to San Jose State. We're going to make this really simple on San Jose State. We're taking money line first quarter, first half, and game. We're not going to mess with the points. So San Jose State, money line first quarter, money line first half, and money line for the game. One more time, San Jose State, money line first quarter, first half, and game. So at the end of this episode, in the comments section, you will see a link to the Google Sheet. This will have all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed, and what book we placed them at. And then, of course, when we're finished, you'll also see the results, win, loss, how much we won, how much we lost, all that kind of fun stuff. So make sure you get into the Google Sheets, check that out, well worth your time. And as always, if you can subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel, it's really simple once you subscribe and get the notifications. They just ding to your phone every time we drop new bets. How much easier can that be? So make sure you get that done when you get some time as well. Make life simple. Match them up with your bets. Let's go make some money because that's what we're here for. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.